Hey guys, I'm going to show you something that I like to do as a personal technique in doing video presentations. So one of the things that I struggled with in creating an ideal environment for videoing myself, for YouTube videos and for educational videos, even for client communication videos, is the backdrop setting. Now it happens that in my place I do not have a nice cozy corner or a lot of blank wall space. There isn't anything nearby. There's some beautiful parks and so on, but then I'm contending with weather and I'm contending with outside noise and lugging some gear around. So I wanted something simple that I could shoot at home, and it just happens that in my environment, the best option that I've got is to aim towards my window and aim towards my computer and my desk. And I've actually found that to be very effective. Now, what I wanted to talk about specifically here was first that general idea of choosing your backdrop, understanding what's behind you. But a big part of that is going to be lighting. And as you can see right now, even with the overhead incandescent fluorescent lights, I guess they are, in this office space, I'm not getting a lot of good facial light. I definitely need some light. And to make matters worse, I'm aiming towards a window, which means that the background is brighter than I am, and it ends up toning me down. I may be able to do some correction to the lighting in the post-production if I edit it in Adobe Premiere or any other video editing software package, but I want to call that to your attention. It is something you want to consider in the capture itself when you film it. But what I wanted to show you here was an interesting technique that I found for presenting materials and information on the screens behind of me. Now, what you can't tell by looking at this video is that I am right now looking at my camera in selfie mode. The camera is facing me, the selfie camera is facing me, and that way I can see myself. If I raise this hand, I see my hand on the right side move. If I raise this hand, I see my hand on the left side move, and I can actually engage. I find that so much easier than staring at the other side of the camera, a black dot, and trying to connect mentally with that. So I enjoy the selfie mode. However, there is a downside, which you have no doubt seen again and again and again, which is that in selfie mode, I need to flip the image. So it is mirror reflected. I'm seeing myself the way that I would see myself reflected in a mirror. My right hand opens on that side, my left hand opens on that side. It is not reversing the way other people would see it, where I raise my right hand and you see it as my left hand being raised. That mirror effect comes with one particularly big downside, which is that if you happen to have a t-shirt with text on it or something in your view which is text, the words will be backwards. So why aren't the words behind you backwards? Behind me, backwards. And it is because I flipped them. Now I had a couple of challenges that I wanted to deal with here. One is I wanted to be able to present something on these screens. I wanted some kind of content there. I felt that that would be just more interesting than a blank monitor or even just a desktop shot. What good's that going to do me, right? Here I have an opportunity to use that in some useful and meaningful way. So why not do that? The second problem is if I have the screens on, they would tend to fall asleep. So they tend to, after about 10 minutes, they would just flip off. If that happens in the middle of a video recording, it is a pain in the butt. It is very interruptive. It's distracting to me. I see it happen in this reflective camera view, and I'm like, ah, crap, that's going to look like shit. So I wanted to prevent that from happening. And I found a nice and convenient way to do that. What I'm going to show you is a technique that I used for keeping the monitor from shutting off, from being able to show presentations and different ones on different monitors if I happen to have several, like I do. I have two here. And to make that very, very flexible and to flip those images. So without further ado, let me show you what I've done on the technology side. I'm using Google Slides to create a PowerPoint style presentation. And in this presentation, I've created a number of slides that are basically just large images. Now, one of the advantages is I can do this all entirely for free. Google Drive gives me all sorts of great applications. I can put this in the cloud, attached to my Google Drive, attached to my free Gmail account, and I'll have it accessible anywhere that I need it. I can even share it with other people if I want to. I can also create as many slides or as many slideshows as I want. So if I actually want to go through a particular presentation, I could stand to the side of my monitor and actually walk through a presentation. As long as the camera is close enough to the monitor to be able to see and read the text clearly, that should work. I would first and foremost like to comment that I do not recommend trying to do that with text of any degree of detail. However, with photographs or very large diagrams or images, it can be a great way to minimize the video editing work that you need to do post-production to build and apply those graphics into your video afterwards. Why not shoot them while you're interacting with them live? Make your life much easier and make it more engaging and interesting to the customer, as long as they can read the important things to see in what you have written. Very important. Now, when I am playing a Google Slide presentation, it has the phenomenal advantage of it prevents the monitor from going to sleep and going into screensaver mode. It knows you're doing a presentation, so it disables that. It applies the appropriate Windows messages. I am doing this on Windows, but any other platform should be essentially identical in how it behaves. Anytime you're presenting a slideshow, the application tells the operating system, hey, this window has to stay visible. Do not turn on a screensaver. Same thing with games, same thing with other types of applications. You'll find that the monitor always stays on when certain applications are running. Google Slides is one of those. Now I can create as many slides as I want, and my first thought was, crap, I'm going to have to go into Photoshop and I'm going to have to take every image that I want to appear in the slide, and I'm going to have to manually reverse it and save it and then load it in the slide, and it's a pain. But it turns out Google Slides made that much easier for me. So let me show you how this works. I'm going to create a new slide here. I'm going to go to this new slide. I don't need any of that text. I'm going to insert an image that I'm going to upload from my computer, and I'll just pick one from the Brojo archives. It doesn't really matter. I'll grab this one for the heck of it. I'm going to size it as big as I want. If I want to make it bigger than the screen so there is no border, one of the things that I can do here is zoom out. So I would simply go to View, Zoom, like 50% so that I can see more than the slide size. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger than the slide. And really that's good enough. I know it's going to fit in the slide. I do want to make certain, in the case of this image, it's got text all the way to the edges. I do want to be careful not to cut that off, so I might align it to the right side of the slide, and I know it's going to trim off this little top bit and this little bit of this left side, and I'm pretty happy with that. Test it out to make sure. Now, right now, if I were to preview this, if I were to go to View, Present, to me, this looks fine. I can read this right now on my screen. However, when I'm using selfie mode on my camera, facing my monitor, it is going to appear backwards. So I need to flip this horizontally. How do I do that? All I need to do is click on the image. I need to right-click it and choose Format Options. In the Format Options, you'll see a Size and Rotation option, and you'll see here Flip. When I flip this image, it actually flips horizontally. It is that easy. I'm super impressed by how easy this was. It solved all of my problems all at once. I was all set to build a custom application to do this presenting mode and keep the monitor from going off for me, when it suddenly hit upon me, hey, maybe I can just use PowerPoint or something similar. Now I'm going to need to realign this because now my text is at the other side of the monitor. There we go. And if I preview it now, I can see my image in reverse, ready to go. When I record this, speaking in front of it with the monitor behind me, it is going to look perfect. Hopefully this is a helpful trick that you can use. If you happen to try shooting video with your monitor behind you, take advantage of Google Slides. It will make your life so much easier.